help defeat the warlords and build a new China together. But China's next president, Chiang Kai-shek, was more right-wing. He wanted to get rid of the warlords and the communists forever. So for most of the 1920s, control of China was battled for by three groups: the warlords, the communists, and Chiang's Kuomintang government, also called the KMT. By 1931, the warlords and the communists were both losing, but then Japan attacked China and caused even more mass and catastrophe. Well, despite the Japanese encroachment, by 1934, the Kuomintang had the last communist group surrounded and almost completely erased them. But 100,000 communists escaped on foot, evading the warlords and the Japanese and the Kuomintang troops who chased them. And this retreat became known as the Long March, across a distance much bigger than America. Only Mao and a few thousand others were left by the march's end. But the whole way they treated peasants well and gave them land, so word spread about how dedicated the communists were to being the people's friend. So without a big army, they couldn't fight normally, but they developed so-called guerrilla tactics, still used by small forces to this day. When World War II started, Japan battled China. Chiang's forces suffered, but Mao fought on in this new guerrilla way. And in 1945, World War II ended, and Japan completely surrendered, faced with terrible atomic devastation. And after the complete pullout of the Japanese troops, China's civil war was able to resume. But now the Kuomintang was worn out, and the communists had more support from the population. So they were able to chase the Kuomintang government south till it fled the mainland to Taiwan, and China's 37 years of revolution were finally done. October 49, the People's Republic of China was declared, a communist country under the leadership of Mao Zedong. First, they got rid of about 1 million landlords and gave everybody land. Then they made China's language simpler so that everybody could be educated. And with help from the Soviet Union, China's backwards industry and shattered economy both began to improve at a tremendous rate. And Mao is now renowned as a leader and as a poet. He said he wanted to let 100 flowers bloom, meaning allow more free thought and more free expression. But he was also so feared and respected as a leader that nobody could tell him no when he started having some weird, bad ideas for the nation. Like in 1958, he launched the Great Leap Forward, a massive, unrealistic attempt to make the new communes modernize much faster. But with poor planning and poor weather, the economy crumbled, millions starved, it was a tremendous policy disaster. And after the failure of the Great Leap, China stopped getting help from the Soviet Union, Mao started to have more enemies, and he was really starting to be in a fix. His next weird idea to renew China's enthusiasm was with the youth, and he started the so-called Cultural Revolution in 1966. This was one of the strangest political upheavals in history. Imagine sort of like an American president saying, "Okay, young rappers, hippies, and punks, obey me, rise up and take over." Millions of young Red Guards, armed with Mao's Red Book, attacked government officials, historic sites, and then attacked each other. Hold on a second on the music. Pause, I'd like to interject this little historical note. I realized when I was researching this, it was around this time during the Cultural Revolution that the Beatles wrote the song Revolution, which must have been referring to this. I had never known that until I did this little research project. But that's must have been sort of what they were saying when they were like, you say you want a revolution, well, you know, we'd all love to see the plan. But if you talk about destruction, well, you know that you can count me out. And then, of course, if you go carrying pictures of Chairman Mao, you ain't going to make it with anyone anyhow. So here I am, very sad and lonely, carrying these pictures of Chairman Mao. But it's okay, I have a girlfriend. So anyway, so there was no university for about 4 years. China's whole industry and economy and everything was completely chaotic. Millions and millions had worshipped Mao, but even this became a confused idea when he had to call off the Cultural Revolution and bring in the army to stop it. In 1976, Mao died. Control of China went between different groups, including Mao's wife's group, the Gang of Four, not to be confused with the post-punk band. Today, China's still trying to reconcile the good aspects of communism in a capitalist world with an uncertain future for this ancient, giant, powerful land. Thanks.